Hey guys, welcome back for the final video in Baker Build's Sexy Time Big Lift Mobility series. We're finishing off the series with the bench press. Huge with boys in high school and college, not as popular with a lot of other adults in the weightlifting arena, but it's out there. People do it and you should know how to prep yourself for it. I'm a fan of it. I like to make sure I get it in occasionally. It's just like doing push-ups. You should have some tone and strong pec muscles because that pressing power, either to push off of something or to get something off of you, can be big at times. So obviously when you're prepping for the bench press, you want to be able to warm up. You want to warm up the pecs. You want to really get into the big muscles that are going to be moving that weight. And the way I like to do it is up against the wall using a lacrosse ball. Some guys like to do it on the floor, and that's cool. It works. I find personally that I like to be on the wall myself. I'm able to get into these tight areas and have a little more control over where I'm at and the pressure I'm placing on it. So it's pretty much as simple as just putting the ball against the wall and then leaning into it. Once you're leaning into it, then explore a little bit. Get into some different areas. Work the outer edge of the sternum, right in there in the center of the chest. Work down low. Get to the outside and almost kind of up under the arm into the armpit. Get into this area right below the collarbone. Spend some time in these regions and see where you're tight. I guarantee you if you've got some mobility issues out in here, there may be something residing right in here that's causing that. Loosening this up is going to help free it up a little bit. So spend some time doing that. A couple of minutes on each side. If you're doing it before the workout, you may be a little pressed for time, but 30 seconds or a minute on each side is going to give you more than if you don't do anything beforehand. Now, we're going to move ourselves down to the floor because for the rest of what we got to do is best done by using a foam roller. So here I am sitting down on my foam roller. And what I'm going to address with this is kind of the ancillary muscles for the bench press. They're not, obviously on the bench you're using your pecs, but there's other stuff at play here too. Some of the big stuff being your upper back, this area right up in here. Spend a little bit of time, just rolling up and down on this bad boy. Don't go below the rib cage. Roll to the side to get the lats. When you're bench pressing, your shoulder blades are still working in and out. They're still moving. It's kind of the opposite of the barbell row. You're pulling the weight towards you, but in the bench press, you're pushing away. The muscles and joints are just working opposite each other. But you should spend some time getting them warm and loose too, and prepped for the movement. With the bench press, the grip may not be as big of a deal as in something like the deadlift or the row because your arms are above the weight and gravity is pushing the weight, pulling the weight towards the ground out of your grip. In the bench press, obviously when we're on the bench, the weight is coming towards you and so your hands have the weight, and you see people do this all the time, they deadlift, with their hands like this or something like that. Not safe, I don't recommend it for anything. But people do it, and that's because the weight is pushing down on them. But if you're doing it properly and you're gripping, you're still using the forearm and the hand muscles. So spending a little bit of time, either with the lacrosse ball or with your hand, doing a little bit of self-massage. You can easily take your hand, put it around the opposite arm, pinch down with your thumb and your fingers, and just sort of work different regions of your forearm. This is a great way to get 30 seconds or a minute on each side and really loosen some things up beforehand. Especially if you're somebody who sits at a desk, you write a lot, you type a lot, or if you're a mechanic, you're a plumber, you use a lot of hand tools, your hands and your forearms get a lot of use. You really got to take care of them. This is a huge part of doing that. Final piece is the hands themselves. Never hurts to just pay some attention to these because they are so often ignored. Lacrosse ball or just self-massage with the hand is great for in here. So spend a little bit of time really getting into these tissues. I like to, kind of pinch in, thumb and forefinger here. Really get into the meaty part of the hand. And, you can also take your, the edge of your thumb and just run it down between the bones in your hand. There's a lot of little muscles in there that just get kind of bound up and compressed. It's nice to separate them out, kind of break up those tissues a little bit and get some blood flowing through there. It's always a good thing. If you want to use a lacrosse ball for this, you can. It's a really good one for the palm of the hand. It's like the sole of the foot. You can put a little bit of pressure on it. So you put it on a tabletop or on the floor or on a jump box. Straighten your elbow. Just like if you were doing CPR, they always say keep straight elbows in CPR. Same thing here. Straight elbow, get some good pressure going, and then just roll the hand around. I guarantee you'll definitely find the sensitive spots in there, but spend a little bit of time, 30 seconds, a minute on each hand. Your hands will thank you for it. And it can't help but, be some sort of beneficial for your bench press, your barbell row, your deadlift, anything you want to use it for. So that's the series, guys, and that's the end of the bench press video. Make sure you guys give these a shot. Try it before your workout set, try it after your workout set, and see how things go. If you're experiencing some sort of problems or issues around it, please feel free to message me, and I'd be happy to help point you in the direction to help ease that or cure it or, get you around whatever's holding you up. All right? So feel free to reach out, guys. I look forward to seeing you next time, and have a good one.